No, like...
No? Okay. Let me
Like,
restream. Sorry. Sorry. It's probably because I took so long.
yeah, probably.
Okay. Good.
Yes.
Haha. Alright. So, Twitch is working. That's always a good thing.
That's a good sign.
That's a good sign, yeah.
It's a very good sign.
And until it stops working and then I have to disconnect again. Oh, it's been a thing. Alright, let's just get back into it. Alright, Rebecca. Here we go. Let's look at her profile. She is 29, which is 3 years older than Isabella. Wow. So she's only 1 year younger than Marianne, but she seems so much younger. Like, it just feels like
She's
it.
mature for her age.
Yeah. Major in European history. Yeah, it's really kind of cute if you read the diary, like, because she really didn't have any friends growing up, except for Ashton. And weird kid that Ashton is, you know? Alright. This is how it begins, or so they say. With a gentle wind drifting through wide open windows, muffled laughters, and footsteps fading behind empty hallways, and the light kiss of the afternoon sun. Soon there will be a call, a crossing of thresholds into the unknown. Maybe we are off to some grand adventure, or diving into another gripping mystery. Oh, yeah, she's also a bookworm. A huge bookworm. One can't really tell. For all I know, a hero might even come sweep me off my feet, if I'm lucky.
That's not exactly a bad thing when you think about it.
But this is far from one, isn't it? A riveting tale, that is. What's with that poster? It looks like frickin' Michael Myers in the background. Career day.
Career day.
Become Michael Myers on career day. Yes, Lackwiz, you are here before Pan. You have come before the Ayaya. That is a major achievement. The mild breeze, the faint murmurs, the warm rays painting every nook and cranny a fiery hue. They are all as real as they can get. Lackwiz is the Ayaya today. As much as I want to write a little tale out of this, I'm far from someone who can. Fleeting fancies, that's what these are. Merely passing thoughts to occupy an idle mind, while waiting for another busy workday to end. Then again, maybe in another life, I am one? Who knows? But at present, what I have and what I've chosen to be, well...
I won't last years here if I find teaching rowdy adolescents a tedious job, will I?
Admittedly, the whole affair isn't exactly as grand or exciting as I had imagined as a child. If I weren't so stubborn and too passionate about the whole idea, I probably would have quit a long time ago. But it's always the kids that make it worthwhile, isn't it? As if in agreement, as soon as my pen slides into a neat circle against the papers I'm grading, the final bell rings. Like a dam that has opened, students begin piling out into the hallway soon after. For a short minute, I let the noise fill my ears, let my mind wander to a place far removed from all the hubbub. Solitary moments like this have come few and far between lately. Even my own home hasn't been as quiet as I usually prefer. Though in hindsight, the entire place hasn't been the same either, since Isabella moved in next door. And if her fussing over a minor cold last week tells anything, I might as well throw any idea of solitude out the nearest balcony, so long as she lives nearby. Also, this was before everything. We won't really know till it... At the memory... Did it say the 21st? I totally missed it.
I'm probably pulling that out my butt.
Probably, it's fine. At the memory, my eyes automatically shift over to the bottle sitting at the edge of my desk. Oh, thank you, Lackwiz. That's okay if you lurk, I don't mind. Still gives me a viewer, so... A chuckle escapes from me as I reach for
A
it.
little ball of energy and enthusiasm. That big baby.
Mother hen, she calls me, and then says and does the same thing right after. It's not that I'm unused to being on the receiving end of other people's worries, or I feel any sort of apprehension over her fretting. If I am to be completely honest, it's actually amusing how someone can be childlike one minute, then act like a responsible adult the next. But there's a dissonance here, both in her actions and her words. Although she may not look like it, may not say anything, may not lose her cheer, one way or another, I know these troubles have weighed down on her lately. Her face says it all, that big numpty. You big numpty. She thinks I won't notice, she's got another thing coming for her. That's how she has always been. I do understand that part, loud and clear, it's just that I really rather not pass another burden on to her.
Or become one myself.
Aren't I supposed to be the one taking care of them? Though I guess that's simply one of those things people eventually grow away from once you've all started leading different lives. Not completely different, I hope. Somehow that makes me feel uneasy. God, I keep looking up and seeing the Michael Myers. I can't unsee it now.
Watching so intently.
I've played too much Dead by Daylight. Now immediately my brain is... Thankfully, before stranger ideas can take root in my head, a faint buzzing comes from my bag, cutting through the rest of my thoughts. A small frown forms on my lips when the screen lights up, and an unknown number flashes. For a long second, my thumb hovers over the answer button. Even the voice that responds once I do accept the call is wholly unfamiliar.
Hello?
Oh, goodness. Finally, it connects.
Oh, is that Marianne?
Hello? Is this Miss Gales? Rebecca Gales?
Yes, speaking. Who is this?
Oh, sorry. Rose Cooper.
Oh, it's Rose.
Royal Realty Corporation.
This is
Wow. I keep forgetting about Rose because she's been dead for so long. Hi, Pandora. You missed your Aya. Laquiz got here first.
Briar Realty?
My frown deepens as I straighten from my chair. Something in her tone, despite sounding remarkably friendly and light, doesn't sit quite well with me. The rigid pause that follows doesn't help ease the tension that has suddenly descended either. I just woke up from a nap. That sounds great, honestly. I should have taken a nap today.
Yeah, we did.
Miss Cooper?
I don't know.
Yes. Things are a bit busy on my end. I apologize.
I'll tell you why. I was too busy playing Genshin, that's why.
I'm not certain if Isabella has mentioned anything before, but we're working together on a property at the moment, and
The Armengard Mansion, yes. She said something about that earlier. Is there a problem?
this is about Isabella, actually.
She wastes no time relaying everything. The details she provided are, admittedly, a little vague, but enough for me to get a gist of what happened. It isn't the bad sort I'm expecting, though still worrying. Especially with words panic attack and pale looking a bit sickly woven together in one foreboding sentence. But as quickly as it surfaces, I stomp down on the urge to demand answers, right there and then. Now wasn't the proper time for useless questions. I'll find out soon enough, regardless. To Mrs. Cooper's credit, she neither hesitates nor falters all throughout. There's some sort of comfort in knowing Isabella has someone like her to guide her, though not as much as I would have liked. After all, this is Isabella we're talking about. What are the chances she said a bunch of excuses so she won't get sent home? High. Very high. Oh, she is so going to hear it this time.
You were listed as one of her emergency contacts, so I thought it'd be best you know about this.
Of course, Rebecca is one of her emergency contacts.
The first one.
Yeah.
How is she? Is she doing okay?
I had her take a break for now, but honestly, I'd feel better if someone were to pick her up and take her home for some rest. Anthem's a fair distance from Luxborn. I really don't want her going off on her own. I'd do it myself, but well, you know how it is today. Big day. People everywhere until the open house ends. I'm really sorry to ask this of you, Miss Gales. I know you're busy.
Oh, no, it's all good. I I was just about to leave from work. I hope to leave early today anyway. A few minutes ahead wouldn't hurt. I can be there in a few, 30, 40 minutes tops. Is that all right?
More than fine, Miss Gales, thank you. We're supposed to be here until... Oh, excuse me. One moment, please.
Yeah, so this is the day of the showing. Which I don't remember which day that is, but...
I don't remember either, but I think she already snuck off with Ashton at this point, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Probably. The faint hum of conversation echoes from her end. Sounds as if the place is buzzing with more people than you expect from a regular open house. I was skeptical at first. The house is old, not to mention its inconvenient location in Luxburn's outskirts. Who wants to live in a place almost an hour's drive away from the comforts of a city? Not me, that's for sure. From what little I can hear, it appears Isabella has every right to be optimistic about this sale. I didn't understand why she was so adamant, refusing my offer of help before. I think I do now. To some degree.
We'll be resuming the tour soon. Yes, thank you. Sorry about that. I really need to get this thing going.
Hey, Bunny.
Lord knows how I'll salvage the situation here. It shouldn't be anything complicated, but still, clients. They can be difficult. but they ought to be.
Clients. The nerve.
Anyway, just look for me when you get here, alright? I shouldn't be too hard to miss.
Yeah, that smile. You remember that smile?
Green hair.
No problem.
very concerning
Thanks for
smile.
letting me know about this. Just make sure Isabella stays put, please. Heaven knows how stubborn that girl can be.
Oh, believe me, I know. Don't worry about it. I'll have a few of our staff keep an eye on her for me until you get here.
That's all I'm asking. I appreciate it.
The whole thing ends on a surprisingly pleasant tone. Only the same can be said for the news she brought. I allow a brief minute to pass to ease whatever tension has latched itself firmly to my nerves. But no matter how much I wish for it, my mind suddenly refuses to do so. My hands are unsteady against the papers I pretend to arrange after. Lucid thoughts, every single ounce of it grimmer than the other, grows with each passing second I linger. Something about this whole thing, along with the sudden unease and nagging worry, screams off. Wrong. This isn't the riveting tale I've hoped to step into today. Even on a rush, getting everything in order before leaving takes nearly a good quarter hour. By the time I make it out of the classroom, the commotion has already died down, dwindling to mere echoes and distant laughters. From the nearby room, melodies from a rehearsing band drift freely into the air, filling the almost empty hallway with their warm, lively tunes. Any other day, I'll stop, bask in the music, and enjoy what little peace it brings. Not today, however. I have business today. My steps are brisk and unsure as I march to Edwards Hall's exit. The sooner I confirm Isabella's okay, the sooner I can shake off this niggling feeling. For one reason or another, that single call, of all possible things, has thrown everything off kilter. I'd rather this be over with as quickly as possible. So much that I nearly barrel over a student in my haste. Ooh. Though perhaps it's really the other way around. Oh! It's her! Kylie, right? I think it's Kylie. When I look down, a set of eyes, bright and hopeful, stare back at me. It looks like they're all teenagers, though. Her arm in the background. Her arms wrapped around my waist like a vise, and at my attention, a grin spreads over her face. Hopefully not that grin from before. Oof.
Buenas tardes, Miss Pink.
Miss Pink.
Hello, Kylie. You know, you aren't supposed to run into people like that.
Sorry, Miss Pink.
She loosens her hold on me, but not a hint of guilt or regret appears on her. If anything, it seems the remark only amused her. A smile appears on my face before I can help it, matching the one on her own.
Just remember not to do it again, all right? You could get hurt.
You sound like my mama when she's scolding Rowan, Miss Pink.
I'm sure your mama only means well. I know she'll be worried sick if one of you were to get hurt. Where's your brother?
That
anyway?
child scares
Aren't
me.
you two supposed to be heading home now?
Well, I mean, that child also scares me because of that one cutscene.
There's a good reason.
Oof.
Rowan said he's got some stuff he needs to do before we go. I think he's taking too long. But he promised to buy me jelly babies today. If I keep what he's doing a secret from Mama and Papa.
Any chance you'll tell Miss Pink about it?
She shakes her head, both her hands going to her mouth as if to keep a precious secret from spilling out.
I made a promise. He said it's for Tia Luke.
Oh, something like a gift?
Wait. Luke? Wait,
It's her uncle.
wait.
She's related to that SOB.
No!
Yeah.
No! No! Say it isn't so! No wonder I'm, like, weary of her.
Runs in the family.
Tio promised to take him
Yeah,
somewhere
I knew
cool
Tio
soon enough.
meant
Rowan's gonna
uncle.
prove He's a grown-up.
My 6 years of Spanish is coming in. I knew what that meant. I was just like, wait a second. It took a second to sink in.
Process.
Laughter slips free from my lips. The teacher in me wants to give whoever this Tio is a reprimand for bringing about this kind of behavior in children. Oh god. But if both Suarez kids are so fond of him, there shouldn't be anything to worry about, yes?
Everything to worry about.
There's everything to worry about. At any rate, they're nothing but well-behaved, both Kylie and her brother. Rowan, the eldest, may have an occasional odd streak in and out of class, but their parents taught them well. I see no reason to cast any suspicion of bad behavior on them, except they're related to Luke, you know.
As long as it isn't anything dangerous, all right?
We haven't seen Owen. She's talked about him, but
It's not. Cross my heart. My drawings are a lot prettier than what he's doing anyway. Tio said so. Do you want to see? I drew one earlier at class.
Is that why you're here?
Not really. I was gonna show it to my friend first. But since it's you, I'm sure she wouldn't mind if you see it before she does.
Oh, oh no. I can't stay right now, Kylie.
her face falls immediately after the words are out. A small part of me feels responsible for that crestfallen look, but as much as I want to stay a little longer, there's another place I need to be at right now. And frankly, another child to look after. Isabella's not that young. Taking both of her hands, I kneel in front of her and muster the most rueful smile I can give. At her age, I'm quite sure she already understands what I'm about to say before they're even out. But remarkably, she doesn't look away or pout as I'm expecting her to.
I'm sorry. You know what? Rowan has a class with me on Monday around this time. Why don't you drop by again next week? After class? I'll even make sure to wait for you. It's just that I absolutely must leave now. My friend had an accident earlier, and I'm the only one she has here.
What about her mama and papa?
Her family lives really far from here, I'm afraid. Do you remember where Asia is? The southeast part? That's where they are.
Her eyes immediately light up at my question, just like how I know I've earned the girl's forgiveness.
Oh, just like Takako.
Who?
My friend. She said she used to live there, only just a little higher than southeast. But she hasn't come home in a long time, so she doesn't remember much about it anymore. Melody says it's weird I talked to her, but I think she's just shy. They could be good friends too. Don't you think so, Miss Pink?
Maybe if you introduce them properly, they will be.
That's what I think. Takako's just lonely. If she makes more friends, she won't be anymore. Is your friend like that too?
A little, possibly. To be honest, sometimes.
Can you kill the
sometimes
children?
I can't tell with her.
I want to.
I mean, I've considered killing Kylie a couple times now. After all, Isabella has always been the kind to hold a smile, even when things have taken a turn for the worst. I do find her voice very annoying, I gotta say. 5 years in one will think it's enough time to know a person. But when you consider it, come to think of it, all these years I've never, not even once, seen her cry. Not over a trivial matter or even when things are tough.
Okay, you can go to her. I'll just show you my drawing next time.
Thank you. Remind me to buy you a huge glass of parfait, alright?
No, I'll get a stomachache. Takako says so. A small one is okay.
I'll remember that. Say hi to your friend for me.
I will. I'm sure she'd love to meet you too. See you, Miss Pink.
I'll see you later, Kylie.
London Bridge is falling down.
Oh, God.
Falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling
I can't read and listen to that at the same time.
Come on, you can do it.
She doesn't look back or wait for any sort of goodbyes from me. With a song and an extra spring in her steps, she bounds across the corridor with as much spirit only a child her age can have. When you think about it, that song's really messed up. So that was the 21st. You were right. You were right.
So this,
Your ass was right. Alright,
so they haven't even seen the letter yet.
no, Isabella has, and that's why she's like all...
Yeah, because she
Yeah.
passed out on the stairs being
Yeah. As if the conversation has never taken any downhill turn for her at all. As if there isn't a single thing to worry about in the world. Not long after, she disappears behind a door, leaving behind strains of an old familiar rhyme lingering in the air. Carefree, unbidden, untroubled moments like this, I envy her. And as if to resume my hurried pace, a tiny whisper at the back of my mind wishes the same can be said for myself and my own worries. Luxbourne may be a small city, but it's no stranger to hellish rush hour traffic. But surprisingly, getting out of the city today proves much more of a breeze than a hassle. A relief, considering how none of my calls to Isabella have made it through. Either the reception's really bad over there, or she's ignoring them on purpose. Well, it is out in the country. Both does nothing to ease the disquiet in me. The rest of my drive passes without much incident as soon as I'm out of the busy streets. In less than 30 minutes, the mansion looms ahead of me. For all the fuss Isabella made about the house, it remains a thing of beauty. Unlike Luxbourne, the estate and the nearly Anslem village stand as its complete opposite. Living and breathing the songs of the old, whispers of a once booming haven lingering in the air. Contemporary conveniences aside, it's a place I'm glad modernization hasn't wholly touched.
It's just a shame the locals know more of the silly hearsay than the history itself. If I could only knock some sense into these people!
Sadly, complaining is all I can afford to do. As much as I want to give them a piece of my mind, it isn't why I'm here. I don't think these rich types will appreciate getting a lecture from me either. I have much business with them as they have with me. With a heavy sigh, I give myself one last second to take in the scenery before heading up the main entrance. Hey, it's this place again!
Turn around.
Most of the guests are already heading out. Though some still linger, it's mainly just to take photos of the house's facade or its various rooms. I pause for a moment, scanning the small crowd gathered at the foyer, looking for any sign of that familiar ponytail among the sea of hats and heads.
No sign of her.
No sign of the other staff member, or Miss Cooper, either. I could certainly look for Isabel on my own, but in a place this big? I'd be lucky if I didn't end up lost or find her before we need to meet with Zachary and Ash tonight. Sighing, I reach for my mobile and redial her number, the gesture familiar now after so many attempts earlier. If she doesn't answer, I can still try contacting Miss Cooper. I just hope the network reception will cooperate this time. This side of the country has never been popular with the tech-savvy, after all. To my relief, it only took 3 unsuccessful tries. The fourth one, right as it's about to switch to another intercept message, the line finally rings. Silence follows while I wait for her to pick up, the ringing going far too long for my tastes. By now, most of the visitors have already cleared out. All I have for company are the faint murmurs and an eerie calmness left in their wake. A sudden hush settles and gives way to noises louder than they're ever meant to be. Doors creaking and slamming shut in some distant part of the mansion, floorboards groaning under the sheer weight of the house's history. In the now empty hall, they all reverberate with special clarity against the walls. Like this, those old stories seem to almost have a ring of truth to it. I don't get to stray far to that ugly line of thought, however. Not a second later, a click sounds from the other end.
Hello? Isabella?
Oh boy.
Miss Cooper called earlier and...
I don't wanna!
Isabella? Belle? Are you alright?
Without any warning, the call gets cut off. Oh boy. Busy notes blare sharply against the heavy silence. But above the noise cutting through the mute air remains the faint cries of a woman. From beyond the foyer. Oh boy. My hand falls to my side as I cast a wary look around, waiting for someone to come running. I hate that. I hate that it's distant.
Oh, so nasty.
Surely I can't be the only one here hearing this. There must be still some staffs hanging around, checking things out. But no one does. Not even when her sobs turn more frantic and anguished.
Excuse me? Hello? Who's there?
Don't ask!
Isabella? Isabella? Is that you?
No answer. Growing anxious, I amble over where her cries come from. Oh no, please don't. Each step slow and cautious toward a door on the other end of the room. Please don't open the door. While I'm far from someone who readily gives into fear or stories lacking factual basis, the vague, restless feeling I have earlier immediately returns to me. Despite myself, my heart begins to race and my breathing quickens.
Belle? Belle, it's me. Miss Cooper called. Is everything okay?
Abruptly, all of it stops. Oh no, the heartbeat. Oh no. My whole body tenses, mouth dragging in a ragged breath, ears straining for any other sound yet to come from the other side. But nothing follows. Instead, the quiet only lends itself to the heavy tension in the air, as if every small movement will disturb the fragile stillness hanging in the room. I wait for another second. Then, with a caution, I reach for the knob. Oh no. Oh no. My fingers barely graze the brass handle when a hand falls on my shoulder.
Excuse me.
Oh, thank God.
I am so sorry. I didn't mean to startle you.
No, it's
Still reeling, my gaze shifts back to the door, as if any second now the cries will start again or whoever's inside will burst out of the room. But I don't get to dwell on these. The woman's worried voice breaks through the haze in my mind again, oddly soothing in the thick of my unease. Even if the concerned look comes from a total stranger, finally being in the company of someone else is somehow comforting.
Ma'am? Are you okay?
Oh, no, I'm fine. This is probably just some cold.
Do you need to sit down?
No need. I'm actually looking for a friend.
I wave the mobile in front of her like the gesture alone explains everything. Vaguely, I note my tight grip on it and quickly slip it into my pocket before she notices. She doesn't need to know.
Well, I'm not really sure if your friend would still be here. We're actually about to close the open house in a few minutes, ma'am.
No worries. She's not a guest here. She works for Briar Realty. Miss Cooper called me earlier. In fact, I'm also looking for her.
Recognition flashes in her eyes, and her worried expression dissolves into a smile at once. It's all I need to know that I don't have to look elsewhere or venture deeper into the mansion on my own. Thank God. In some way, I'm not too keen on the latter right now.
Oh, Miss Rebecca Gales, is it?
Yes. Sorry if I'm a bit late.
It's not a problem. I was busy with the open house and a few clients anyway. It's actually a good thing you came when you did. Let's see. Isabella should be here somewhere. I told her to stay put earlier. That girl never listens.
Rose? Rosie? May I have a minute? There's just this one little thing before we go.
Miss Cooper's head immediately snaps out of the voice. In a blink, a different kind of smile spreads over her face. A smile still, friendly even, but the kind many give mainly for the sake of pleasing other people rather than making friends.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be there in a few.
The forced...
God,
the forced smile. It's an impressive thing, to say the least. That level of professionalism. That's her customer service smile. No wonder it looks so terrible.
God, I'd hate to see that during
I suppose working years in this kind of business trains you enough to be able to pull that off without batting an eye. Good thing she doesn't work retail, like regular retail at stores.
She's good at that though, so she's set.
Certainly didn't seem to have rubbed off on Isabella, though.
Sorry, could you give me a second? I have to take care of this.
Don't worry about it. I understand. I can wait a few more minutes. Clients, right?
You won't hear anything from me. Priorities, you know? But if you want, you can stay at the parlor in the meantime. I think we have a few refreshments left.
No, thank you. I'm going out with a few friends after this. Isabella's supposed to join us too. But that depends on how she's doing, of course.
Alright, this won't be long, I promise.
She throws me an apologetic look before sauntering over the small group gathered at the entrance. Haha. A couple, or siblings, and another woman, probably their secretary. Actually, Hannah's the secretary, isn't she? Of all the stuff they do. Either way, they look no different from the other guests. All three of them primly dressed, albeit in a manner significantly simpler than the others. No frills, no extravagance of any form. But their gestures and movements alone speak volumes of their ingrained lifestyle. In their presence, I do what I can to appear inconspicuous on my side of the foyer.
In all pink.
What is it?
She's in all pink from head to toe. She's completely inconspicuous.
Maybe accepting Miss Cooper's offer would have been a much better choice than standing around awkwardly gaping at them. And while also attempting my best not to listen on their conversation, although that one proves more difficult with how enthusiastic the blonde woman is, her voice easily echoes through the walls, with only the 5 of us here. Well, she's met Hannah before.
But she doesn't remember.
But she doesn't remember, yeah. It was when she was young, like, really young. Pretty soon, I find myself being drawn into their talk without meaning to.
Tomorrow? First thing in the morning?
First thing in the morning, ma'am.
The mundane talk isn't what catches my attention, however.
Very well. We'll have our lawyers prepare everything as soon as possible. Let's make this whole thing easier for everyone, shall we? Just let me know if there's anything you need from me. You know how to contact me, yes?
Got your mobile number saved here already.
Good. It's just a matter of time then.
It's a brief moment. A fleeting shift of my eye.
Monday for us, Marianne.
As long as you're positive, we won't be having any problems by that time. You can count on my team.
You worry too much. Let me handle those things. Do be thrilled, though. I imagine it's not every day you get projects like this, hmm?
Oh boy.
Ugh.
And the instant I turn my gaze on him, I see it.
Oh, I'm certain Mint's ecstatic, Buttercup.
So he does say that. Okay.
Aren't you, Marianne? You know,
Wait,
we
look behind
could
him.
all celebrate this with a few drinks. Why don't we?
Oh, that mist.
Yeah.
That was there before, like, when Zach
When
showed up
Zach
at the
showed
house.
So it already latched onto him by the time he got here?
That's weird. I thought it was, like, after the whole scene with the cellar.
Evidently not.
Huh. Oh, so he's fucked up, like, well before.
In
I mean,
fact,
technically,
there's
yes.
this really excellent Irish pub I visited a few days ago.
Looming, hovering over his shoulders, drawn to him like a moth to a flame. A dark blur. No, a shadow.
I think I'll pass on that, sir. I have more important matters to attend to.
Darling, your liver. You already had a glass today, and apparently a few days ago as well.
Why do they sound like they're underwater?
How many times do we have to remind you? Doctor's orders, remember?
Blonde bloke. As I try to make sense of it, a heavy feeling descends over my whole body. It happens without warning, forcing me to close my eyes. The sensation creeps to every part of me, crawling under my skin and draining me little by little of any strength. Before I know it, my hand is gripping the nearby door for support. The sudden nausea drowns out their voices and what little sound there is. All except for the whispers and laughters. Judging. Mocking. Taunting. Oh. Muffled, inaudible words bearing down on me like a death sentence. They wrap around my neck and limbs, binds tightening with every syllable, every utterance. And with each draw of breath I take, they drag me down slowly, almost painfully, into a bottomless abyss. On, and on, and on, till the sounds turn into mere distant echoes. until suddenly it shatters.
Well, what are we waiting for? Are we done here?
His voice rips through the fog like a sharp blade, and my eyes snap open. When I look at them again, it's gone.
Just a second, darling.
Weird.
Send my regards to Isabel, please. Poor girl. Please let her know she doesn't have to worry and tell her to get some rest. Anyway, we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Likewise, ma'am.
No shadows or dark clouds. Only amicable smiles and cordial handshakes, the usual pleasantries as Miss Cooper leads them out the mansion like a graceful host. None of the group seems to have noticed it. And even as I force my breathing to calm down, keep my eyes trained on their backs, and wait for something to happen, it doesn't come back. She returns a moment later. Gently, she closes the great doors behind her, but there's a smile on her lips and an extra skip in her step when she walks back to me. Whatever she was discussing with the group had put her in a good mood. Even she appears to have not observed anything odd. Was I just seeing things?
Glad that was over. It's been a long day. I thought for sure we were going to... hey, are you sure you're doing okay? You look a bit green.
So do you, but, you know.
It's all good. I'm actually still recovering from a cold.
Oh yeah, she did actually have a cold. 'Cause Isabella, went... Yeah. Yeah! I forgot about that. I entirely forgot about that. That's been so long ago.
Weather's been
like, what, 8 months
crazy
ago?
lately.
Yeah, a long time. That must be it. The weather, this stupid cold, and the friendly warnings I'm too stubborn to listen to. As much as I hate to admit it, Isabella's right. I was and still... Sorry. Am a little feverish when she visited me at school this morning. The medicine helped, of course, but only some. Oh, that was this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha. Although it's not like I can't function. It did get better after lunch, and I was able to go through my schedule like the usual. Now I'm not so sure. However, I can't keep acting like I've seen some sort of apparition when it's anything but. I simply must have listened too many times to Isabella last week. My fever-muddled mind has started to confuse things. If this doesn't let up, I just need another visit to my doctor, plain and simple. Though I do hope it won't get worse. We did promise to watch Zachary's film together.
I know what you mean. I've been complaining to Isabel. It doesn't seem to affect her much, though. Must be because she grew up in the tropics. Anyway, shall we? She's probably hanging out with the rest of the catering staff.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised she's there. She eats like 10 hungry men when she isn't feeling well. Lead the way.
With a small nod, she gestures for me to follow. I actually, unless I'm extremely nauseous, that's what I do. When I'm sick, unless I'm extremely nauseous or I'm having problems with my stomach, I eat a lot. I don't know why. I do so without much thought, finally putting everything in the back of my mind. Okay.
Oh, do you hear the music?
Yeah. Why does that sound familiar? Okay, so that's that whole scene.
I'm trying to think of where I normally hear that. Like elevator music or something.
That sounds so familiar. Like, I know I've heard that somewhere.
I want to say elevator music. Or like some kind of waiting room music.
Yeah, The entire visit took a whole 24 minutes, and my trip to the mansion, as it turns out, is as a useless endeavor in itself. Isabella is no longer there, left shortly before I arrived. Or at least that's what the few staff who saw her assumed. None of them knew where she went, but I can take a few guesses. There are only a number of places in Luxembourg she frequents, and while she's never been the complex kind, it doesn't really take a genius to figure it out. Still, it's odd she left on her own. She could have at least waited for Miss Cooper. I would have saved her having to pay the cab's fare twice today.
And right after she was told to stay put. I mean, who does that?
Well, she left with Ash, didn't she?
No, but she doesn't know that yet.
Oh, sod off! You don't own the road!
In the end, all Miss Cooper could give me were a string of apologies for my trouble and a request to let her know when I find Isabella. The whole affair didn't even last long. I probably spent more time traveling back and forth. Soon enough, I'm weaving my way back to downtown Luxborn, worried sick, and on top of that, maybe a little annoyed. Whether at the unexpected turn of events or at Isabella herself, I'd rather not think about it for now. No, and I'm already running late for Zach's film. Besides, I'm perfectly sure that's where I'll find her. Her? As one would expect, people are already gathered at the movie house when I get to it. Why does that look like Marianne as a